Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattocks, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
We spent this week talking about the ways you work against yourself, the way you misapply the level of time, overloading tomorrow you with things that you won't do today, or carrying verdicts about your past that were issued under completely different conditions, or swinging the gavel at fears that don't have a body yet, or, as we talked about yesterday, building elaborate architecture as a delay mechanism dressed up as progress. All of it has motion and texture of feeling like work, but none of it is the work. Here's where the square comes in. Before we go further, let's be clear about what we mean when we talk about virtue. Because when we talk about squaring our actions against the square of virtue, we have to understand what that means. Virtue as a concept tends to be talked about with a bunch of extra baggage, moral baggage, that the word doesn't really need. The Latin root is virtus. It means excellence, potency, and efficacy. A virtuous thing is a thing operating sort of at full spec. A virtuous knife cuts well. A virtuous foundation holds the building up. There's no moral judgment here. It is a performance standard. It is in many ways, a true-false condition, or a sort of, does it work or doesn't it? And so when we square our actions against the square of virtue, that's the test we're running. We're not like, are you a good person, or are you doing okay, or, none of this sort of cagey, contextual, forever spiral of trying to figure it out. When we square our actions against the square of virtue, did it work? Does it work? Is what you're doing getting the outcome you're creating? So in operative masonry, we test right angles, right? We are using the square to determine whether or not these two pieces fit together. When we do this for ourselves, when we look at our week, when we square our week against the things we've done and the things that we have left undone, or the stuff that we tried and the outcomes we've created, we're beginning the process of evaluating, using that level of time, did I do what I set out to do? A great way to figure this out is to grab your treasurer's apron, your mental treasurer's apron, right? The treasurer does not have, your treasurer might have feelings in your lodge, but in general, the treasurer application is not a feeling conversation. This is an emotional content. This is, you look at the check register. Did I pay the bills? It's not like, did I feel like paying the bills? Or did I feel like solving the problem? It's not even any of that stuff. It's, did the bills get paid? Did the problem get solved? Did it debit correctly from the account? The same thing's true when we look at our efforts. When we look at how we spent time on this one project, or work on the pile. Did the pile get smaller? Well, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. And that hedge is essentially part of what's keeping you stuck, right? So grabbing that square, grabbing that treasurer's apron and getting to it, evaluating, did the effort you undertook solve the problem, is really the beginning of meaningfully understanding, are you being true to your objectives? Are you doing what you're supposed to do? Do these pieces fit together well? Does the behaviors that I'm undertaking solve the real problem? That's a hard place to sit, but the level of time demands that the work we do fit the overall structure that we're trying to create. If you want to make more money, how much time did you spend on that job? How successful was it? If you want to live a healthier life, how much time did you spend managing your diet, managing your exercise, finding the right decisions, doing the work? Has it been successful? A lot of these things that we plan for in life tend to move a little more slowly. So over the course of a life, some of these changes take a long time. But when we, as you saw over the course of this week, micro adjustments, micro behavior changes are the best way to ensure long-term outcomes here. You are not going to collapse an entire health regimen into a weekend and expect that it's going to create all of those outcomes. The body doesn't move that fast. You can't do it. It's not possible. And there's the little rebellion in you right now. It's like, but I could. And that's the voice of this misapplication of the level. Take your time, small bits, small actions with a virtuous test after. Did it square? That's the challenge.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.